fourth and final main topic today is this. So we had somebody comment in on the channel the other day about, because we were talking about our wants for Antman in the what I'm calling the Quantumanium of Madness. And, you know, what I said I wanted was a good movie. And someone kind of called me out and I was like, hey, what's that mean, you know? And, you know, I thought everyone would understand what I meant, but I get now that maybe, you know, I should clarify on that. So I do want to clarify and say what I mean by a good movie is, you know, remember, Trevor, when we went and during the height of all this, we went and seen everything. Mm-hmm. And there was almost this feeling that we felt, that all of the audience always felt. And every time we went to see another one, it was almost this underlying like rumble that was happening. And it was just bubbling and bubbling and bubbling. And then, I mean, again, I do this show today because of those things, because I remember remember when we went and seen Black Panther and at the end everyone stood up and gave a round of applause. You remember that? Yeah. I remember that moment being like, I remember looking around at you and I looked at you and I was like, dude, take this in. Yeah. Like, this is a moment, bro. Take this in and don't you fucking forget it. Like, I had been to lots of movies and no movie had ever made everyone in the theater experience so much the same thing that they all felt the need at the same time to react the same way. Yes, and I thought that was beautiful. And it just kept progressing until Endgame, right? Yeah. I remember we were in Endgame. There's this, one of my greatest moments as a film fan. I'm wearing Endgame. It's very quiet. Thanos is fighting Cap, and he's kind of kicking his ass. He's breaking the shield up, and then he whoops Cap up a little bit, and he starts fighting Thor. He's about to like cut Thor or do something, and then we see the hammer fly into someone's hand, but we don't know who it is, and then it cuts, and of course it's none other than our amazing Steve Rogers wielding Mjolnir with lightning, and he raises up his head, and when he does, some dude in the very front of the theater said what we all felt inside of us, which was, fuck yeah! And when he did, we roared like we were at a sports event and LeBron James had just won it all. Right. And it was amazing because we all felt that feeling. Mjolnir was surging through us. Right. We could feel electricity in that goddamn theater, and I'm telling you, if you've ever been to a big concert or sporting event and you could feel that rumble of people's feet getting up and down and jumping from excitement, dude, you could feel it like the whole third act. Yeah. For a whole hour, dude. People were and something would happen. It was like someone, again, like, bam, Steph Curry just hit a three. Yeah! It was such an event that I had never experienced. And to clarify, I want that back, man. I want that. I realized that movies had evolved into that, and that the greatest thing movies could do in a theater experience was that. Yeah. It really is. I mean, I love The Lighthouse and The Shining and all these other movies, Climax, but they do not deliver. Movies, I can assure you, are experiential events. Today, they for sure are, especially in a theater. And that is the prime example. So that's what I want. I want us all to be able to have that community of like we're all feeling the same thing, and we're all, like I said, it just felt like a cauldron that was slowly, like we were a stew that was just getting better and better and stewing up day by day until one day we ate it and it was the best stew we ever had. And then after that, we've been eating kind of leftover stew for the last few weeks, and it's like exactly what's it's done the opposite, right? It was like getting better as we were stewing it, but now as it's gotten, well, now we every week Endgame, every week that goes like, by, it gets a week older. Like, but yet we still come and go, good, and we're just waiting for the day that a new pot gets back on, and a new stew gets to brewing. There was some, and that, my friends, is what I think that I meant by a good movie. That being said, what I want to talk about specifically is we had someone comment in and say that they were upset with the idea even that Kang is this new Thanos, this new big bad, and that Antman, who is just a mere human, is going to somehow go toe-to-toe with Kang in this film. And, I didn't really give it any thought until he said it. And as I read it, I started to think, like, there's some truth to that. And I often said that about Tony in the suit. He squares off with Thanos in Infinity War. And it often felt the same with that. Like, Tony's just a dude, bro. He shouldn't even be there. Like, there's nothing super about that dude. And the same thing can be said for Ant-Man, for sure. I mean, there's nothing super about him except the suit.
Right.
And that he's Paul Rudd, which may be the world's greatest superpower, of course.
Of course, yeah.
But
any door.
But yeah, I'm right along with you in thinking that it is a little weird that he's gonna go toe to toe with Kang. However, I would say this: we don't know how that ends yet, and that could end with he goes toe to toe with Kang, and Kang murders him,
literally,
easily, and the movie ends with, "Look what's coming." I mean, he just killed Ant-Man, and he killed the Wasp, and he killed Hank Pym.
Be a hell of a stew to start.
Right. Right. There you go. And so I think that we don't, it's real hard to say that until we see it, because I think he's trying to go toe to toe, but I don't think he is. I don't think at any moment in this movie, first of all, this movie doesn't end with Kang losing. Nope. Right? Nope. There's an Avengers Kang Dynasty coming. So we know how this ends. We've seen the shots. Just before you showed up to the studio, I'd seen a clip where Kang's got him, and like Scott Lang looks like he's bleeding out of every fucking spot of his face, and Kang's like leans in his ear and he's like, you really thought you could win, and Ant-Man's like, no, I knew I could never win. We just both have to lose. And really that is kind of a perfect example of what I mean by this, right? Is that he never really thought he could win. He knew he couldn't win. And that's Scott Lang, man. It's so true to the character, because he's a fucking bank heist guy. He's a thief, man. And that kind of thing, you just never know. Well,
he's a thief with an absolute heart of gold.
True.
And he will take on, and it's in his character, he will take on, even at the great expense of his own problems.
That's right.
Huge people.
And
I think business, which is why he.
And I think this ends with Cassie Lang becoming some sort of. I bet she lives on, and maybe she takes on a mantle of some sort later on. Who knows? But I think this movie may end, sadly, with some serious consequences. I know. I don't want to say that I know anything, so let me take that back. I don't know anything, but I'm confident that Hank Pym for sure does not survive this movie. But from what I've seen, like in those moments, I think that moment where Ant-Man says, I knew I could never win. I just knew we both have to lose. I think he thinks that they're going to both lose. Right. And he's going to do the thing. He's going to pull the ultimate switch that makes them both lose. And it's all going to blow up. And when all the smoke clears, Kang's just going to be standing there laughing and looking at him as a splattered ant on the ground going, you lose. Yeah. I win. And I think that's what comes of this. So I understand the thought of quickly, if we just said, one-on-one, Thanos versus Iron Man. It's like, this isn't even a question.
Yeah.
And so I get that. But again, I think this ends with Ant-Man thinking that they're both going to die, but not realizing how truly powerful Kang the Conqueror truly is. And I think that that's the aha moment for all of us, right? At the end, it's like, damn, Ant-Man had to sacrifice himself to kill himself in Kang. And again, the smoke clears, we see Kang, and that's our moment of realizing, damn, this dude's not gonna be.
Right.
I mean, because who knows what he's gonna do to do that? Maybe he explodes the whole quantum realm, and even that doesn't kill him. You know, maybe that just pushes him into our realm.
Right.
Like,
Jesus.
you know what I mean? Maybe it causes worse consequences. I think that Scott Lang thinks they're both gonna lose, but I think. He just loses. I sadly, as much as I love Paul Rudd and this character, I don't think they make it out of this. But Trevor, what is your thoughts on these two characters going toe to toe? Should there be a cause for concern of the fact that Ant-Man, just this guy in a suit, is even trying to go toe to toe with Kang the Conqueror?
Well, I mean, Scott should be worried, for sure. For sure.
He just needs to get his daughter out of there, man.
Yeah, seriously.
And at some point, I think he's going to realize that.
Right.
It's going to be one of those Heimdall with Hulk situations. You get out of here. We're all about to die.
Right. I think that hopefully that we do with that kind of storytelling and that kind of idea is exactly what the kind of risk that Marvel needs to be making.
Sounds
right
compelling,
now.
doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Because
that sure does.
Stuff like that starts to set up some serious consequences. You know, that starts to now because these other ones they've just kind of felt inconsequential
and serious stakes.
Yes.
We need to know that. Remember when we thought that?
Right.
Remember when Yondu died?
Right. And
I mean, we still talk about it today. It is the most impactful thing death-wise that had ever happened to us still in the MCU. Even with Infinity War and Endgame, nothing felt like that because it was happening, bro.
Yeah.
It was done.
Right.
He's gone.
Over.
It's just too late.
And that carried a lot of the characters' motivations and choices. And if you started off the phase like that, killing and destroying one of just a beloved guy, it would really set the tone for this dude is a
perfect example of that is look how it set the tone for the Guardians Christmas series.
Yeah.
We get that the Yondu, we get him back, and everything about him now is like our dad.
Yeah.
We see him so different now, right? It's so hard to see him any other way. I mean, and just to even have him back in a moment for animation, it makes you want to cry.
Right.
You're like, fuck, this character is so good.
My dad been
He's
with me
Mary
this whole time.
Poppins, y'all. Come on. And it created new ability to tell more compelling stories because we know now how truly good of a fucking dude he is because he sacrificed his life for this kid.
Right.
The kid that he's like, we're not having Christmas. Right?
Yeah.
It made this whole new thing. And you're so right. It can lead to so much more better storytelling by having these truly compelling, but what let me out of this is stakes. There must also be stakes. Yes. I want consequences for these things.
Otherwise, it's just visual noise.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, I think that this will be, I think this will be a tough movie to watch. I think that it will be very disturbing to see I mean, just honestly, from the years and what we know of that character, honestly, if we're in that world, put ourselves in there, to see him all, to see Kang have him by the back, by the throat from the back, and to see him bleeding all out and his helmet, his Ant-Man helmet smashed on the ground so he can't use that, and Kang telling him, you thought you could win. Just seeing him in that position is like, damn, this is rough.
Yeah.
This is Scott Lang, bro.
Yeah, right.
You don't do that to Scott Lang.
No, sir.
You do that to fucking Hulk or something, man.
Right.
Get off our dude,
He's
man.
just chilling.
He's got to do Hot Ones next week,
That's
man.
right, bro. He's the cool uncle of the cinematic universe, bro.
Right.
Leave him be.
So to see him in a dire situation, even in a trailer like that, really shows you that it's gonna hurt. Probably we're gonna see him hurt.
That's why they need that
like they did
impact.
to Peter.
Yes, they need that added impact now. And they need it badly for the whole cinematic universe. And if you were to do the ballsy decision and kill that dude off, in his own movie, then from there on, it's like in wrestling. John Cena one time he got absolutely squashed by Brock Lesnar. And the reason they did that, it was, did it make Cena look really bad for a second? Yes. But now, forever, Brock Lesnar looks like he's a monster because he did something and he showed that this might happen. So if you kill this man and you destroy this beautiful soul that everyone loves but isn't actually super consequential to the thing,
Right.
then you say, hey, man, your people that you think right now are going to be safe and happy in this thing, they may not make it.
See, and that's why that beginning of Infinity War is still so compelling, right? Is because immediately it's like, oh, you like Loki? Dead. Oh, you like Heimdall? Dead. Oh, you love Hulk? Think he can kick anyone's ass? Just got his ass beat. Knocked the hell out.
Right.
I mean, in the meeting. Oh, you like Thor? You think he could handle this situation? No. Nobody can.
Right.
Everyone's fucking off the table in this damn movie. We don't care.
Nor all of Asgard.
And it just started.
Right.
Like, that was the opening thing. It hadn't even said Infinity War yet. And it's like, I remember we were all looking at each other like, dude, this is gonna suck serious ass, man.
Yes.
Like, what did we get ourselves into?
We're not ready.
But again, I think you do way different storytelling when you have real consequences, you have real stakes, and I think that's key to this, man. Like I said, because again, we do have these certain relationships with these guys, and obviously they're not playing these characters forever, so it would be the way to do it. I think would be to kill him off. Not to mention that Scott Lang, bro, saved everyone. He came back from the quantum realm to show them that time travel could be happening, so they could go back there and save everyone. Yeah. So I mean, you're talking about the guy. I mean, that saved the world, man, that brought all of our heroes back, too. So everyone kind of owes a debt to him, too, in a way, especially the guys that got snapped. So I think that's compelling, too, right? If you're Strange and you're obviously not T'Challa, but, whoever, Spider-Man, if you're these characters and you're like, well, shit, Scott Lang's the dude that brought me back. And then you find out some dude just beat him to death.
Right.
You might be like,
and his family.
You know what? I'm gonna f this Kang dude up. This Kang dude's gonna get hurt, and it would be a lot of them because he saved them all. Yeah. So you'd have a lot of people that would. It would really be a kickoff, right? To really get it in the hands of the offense to start making a move. What is this gonna do? Like, where's the repercussions? The defense
has just been all blitzing them 100% of the time, and they can't even get out of the fucking pocket.
But now it gives us a chance to really, like I said, I think tell some real story, and I hope that they do that with this. I really do. I'm tired of.
And we don't need a touchdown. We just need a first down.
I'm tired of all the little sprinkled cameo shit that they think that I want that's going to be enough to but here's John Krasinski for a few minutes. Will that do it? No, man. No. Like, I don't want.
I want a story. I don't want to make a story 2 years ago.
I don't want a fucking Kit Kat bar. This isn't give me a break. Give me a break. Break me off a piece of that damn Kit Kat bar. I want a meal, bro. Give me courses. I want a salad. Start me off with some soup. I'll have some bread. And then you know what? At some point, a fillet should come out here with some potatoes next to it, man. I mean, and it shouldn't just be a Kit Kat bar movie, man. Stop giving me a break. Man, I don't want. I mean, again, every once in a blue moon, I think that can work. It really works. It's like because you've been having so many good meals,
right?
But
I could use
it's been quite the opposite now. Again, it used to be they were feeling us up, and at some point we're like, oh my god. But now we're starving. Right. Like, dude, you've been giving us Kit Kats for 10 films.
You want another Kit Kat?
10 series.
Right. Please don't give me
some
another
food,
Kit Kat.
Man.
Give me some dang Beyond
I need
meat.
Sustenance.
Please. Put a protein shake on the side.
I want Whole
die.
Foods. But guys, you guys are hear this. What are you guys' thoughts? Do you think there's a bit of an issue here with the idea that Scott Lang could even go toe-to-toe with Kang in this upcoming Ant-Man 3 movie? Do you think it matters at all? Do you think this ends with Scott Lang not breathing? Definitely let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below.